All right, good morning, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Patricia Rios, and while they get my slides on the screen, I just want to tell you a little bit about me. One, I've been recently promoted to the role of Director of Education Advocacy for BCAN, so I've been in this role for, thank you. I say that because I've been in this role for 2 weeks, so be kind with me. But I've been with BCAN for over 2 years, and it's been a pleasure working and meeting many of you and talking to many of you. And so what I want to be able to mention is that over the next 30 minutes, I'm going to share some of the educational materials that have been developed over the years. And I want to give much of the credit that you'll see here to my mentor, who is now serving in the senior advisor role, Stephanie Chisholm, who many of you know and have seen, so I want to give her a round of applause. You still get to see Stephanie on the stage today, because I know some of you may be wondering, where's Stephanie? And so she's here, and she'll be on the stage helping to moderate some of the session, as well as some of our colleagues here at BCAN. So with that, I'm going to get started. And I want to say that this program would not be possible with our sponsors. So I want to thank all of them. I know Mary Margaret extended her gratitude, but I also want to be able to say thank you. Without you, this event would not be possible. Other individuals also who I want to thank are all the speakers who really took time from their work days to come here, to travel from neighboring states to present and share their knowledge with us. And so I want to thank all of them, and you'll get to see them throughout the day and tomorrow. So thank you, and a special thanks to Dr. Kamal Pohar, who's here also, who has really worked with me over the past couple of months in helping to put this program together. Yes, there's Dr. Kamal. You can see. Okay, summit. So Mary Margaret already did the exercise, so we have several new people here. Welcome. Those of you who have been here before, who are our veterans. This is such a wonderful opportunity. I always think of it as our reunion. And so what I want to mention is why the summits were created. Well, one of the reasons was to bring cutting-edge information around bladder cancer treatment, therapies, and survivorship, right? Those are very important because we know an educated patient is an empowered patient. But the other reason was to build community. One of the things that I hear often in the space is that bladder cancer, the diagnosis can feel very lonely. And so what we wanted to do is bring the community together so that you can spend a couple of days, several hours with people who understand your journey. And so through the summits, our goal is to be able to build that community. And I think we're doing a good job, especially seeing how many people stood up who have come summit after summit. And so with that, I just want to thank you for supporting us. We do have 2 summits a year, one in the spring, one in the fall. And those who are coming here for the first time, we hope to see you in Baltimore next year in March. And with that, I want to also share, okay, so who's here? Well, I know we did the standing exercise. I may have you do that again. So be ready. You didn't know you were going to get your exercise in today with us. But if you looked around the room, many people stood up, right? Around 60, well, let me start here. About 43% were bladder cancer patient survivors. 23 of those were family, friends, caregivers. The 14%, not all of them were here because they're coming. Those are the healthcare providers, the speakers. Then we had our sponsors and the BCAN staff. But we're all part of this community, the community that we want to build, and why we're all here today. Now, where did everybody come from? Well, 60 of the people that register are from the Ohio area. That's incredible. I know Ohio is very big, but we have people come from like Cincinnati, Cleveland, but also, can you guys hear me? Yeah, there you go. As well as other southern states like, well, if you count Maryland as a southern state, Maryland. And then we had New Jersey, obviously we had people come all the way from California. That's incredible. And as well as other states across the US. So we have representation from all over. That's what we see at every summit. And what bringing the community together is about. Now, those of you who have been to a previous summit knows how this works. If you checked in by the registration table, there was another table behind it that had some buttons. And those buttons had some letters. Those are supposed to be conversation starters. They're meant to help you identify another person in the room who may have a similar journey to you. You may have seen a button that had for non-muscle invasive bladder cancer. So it had NMIBC. You had another one that had MIBC for muscle invasive bladder cancer. We had UTUC for upper tract, advanced metastatic, caregiver, researcher, or even sponsor. There's also one for walk, one for. And I say this because if you didn't grab one, I encourage you to grab one and collect as many as you like, or as are applicable. Those are also help you as you're walking around and you're like, you have you're a caregiver. Let me connect with you. So just use the opportunity to get to meet and get to know other people. Now, I know we got to do a lot of standing, so for this exercise, just so that we know who, if you didn't grab a button, you'll still have an opportunity to grab it throughout the day. But what I am going to ask is just so that you know who's in the room represented by these different groups, just so you can connect. I'm going to ask you to stand. I promise you that I think this will be the only time I'll ask you to stand during this session. No, I lie. There might be another one, so don't hold me to that. All right, so what I would like to do is ask anyone who has been diagnosed or is currently in treatment for non-muscle invasive bladder cancer, if you don't mind standing, please. Thank you. I'll ask you to turn around, look around the room so that if you didn't bring a friend, you will find a friend there. You can talk to somebody. Thank you. Let me sit down. All right. Those with muscle invasive bladder cancer, I'm going to ask you to stand. Okay. Okay. Oh, look at that. They're like, we know each other. Okay, great. Thank you. A little, okay. Upper tract urothelial. Oh, great. There's one more. There is one more. Where is Ann? I'm like, there's someone. I'm not going to call her out. Okay, but we have somebody to match you with. Yes. And then advanced metastatic. Do we have anyone? Okay. Thank you, guys. Now may I ask our caregivers or family care partners to stand, please? Yes, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you all for walking the journey. I hope that exercise allowed you to see who's in the room and who you may potentially meet throughout the next couple of hours, days. So that, as you saw standing, you saw some groups had a larger number than others. And you'll understand why in a minute. In 2025, it was estimated that almost 85,000 people were going to be diagnosed with bladder cancer this year alone. Out of those 85,000, about 50 to 70, roughly, would be diagnosed with non-muscle invasive bladder cancer. Muscle invasive bladder cancer, around 20, 33%, and the remaining with advanced metastatic bladder cancer. And there's a couple things that this slide tells me. One, we need to bring more of those people in this room, because when they get diagnosed, they will feel alone, and we don't want that. And so we want to be able to spread the message about the resources that we have and about the summit so they can come and feel supported and be part of our community. But because there's going to be individuals that are going to be diagnosed, this many people, we develop education materials to be able to support them with that. And that's what I'm going to walk you through next. All the education materials that we have developed, they're developed with the intention to empower patients so that they can thrive. Not just survive with their diagnosis, but to thrive. And so thriving means going beyond this process of surviving is really finding this, and I think our patients tomorrow will explain this to you better, but it goes beyond just trying to get through the treatment and completing the treatment, but finding sort of enjoying life, what gives them joy, and finding, like, we hear this often, and I sometimes hesitate in saying it because, for some patients it's like, well, this is my new normal, but, sometimes that itself is defined differently, right? So, but really, what I want everybody to take away is that the education materials that we do have is really meant to be able to get patients from that discovery into that thrivership. So let me dig into that. Mary Margaret mentioned information about our bladder cancer basics, our fact sheets, our videos, and recently we developed a survivorship. All these materials that I'm going to review, and they're available on our website. And some of them we actually brought here. So I encourage you to take some home. I'll stop there, just because I know we're running out of time. Yes, we are. Okay. Now, one of the programs I think that I hear often, aside from the bladder cancer basics, which you heard Mary Margaret mention, like many people hold it up and say, gosh, this book saved me. It had all the information I needed. The second most common resource that I often hear patients say is so valuable to them is our Survivor to Survivor program, which is our peer-to-peer program. The Survivor to Survivor program, what it does is it matches patients who are either recently diagnosed or are going through a process where they need to explore new therapy options with a patient that has already gone through that journey. And the volunteer patients, they dedicate time in contacting with the individual, and they're often matched their preferences, hobbies, diagnosis, gender. There's many things that we take into consideration in doing this matchmaking. But it's also a program that's available for caregivers. So what I'm going to ask is, because we have many of them here, I'm going to ask our Survivor to Survivor volunteers to please stand. I know more standing. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, guys. These individuals, and there's many more, and if you're considering being a Survivor volunteer, Bernadette's outside at the and she can share more information what that includes, but we do provide training. So it's an opportunity to give back, or if you've never taken advantage of that program and you want to, do so also. You can request to be matched or participated via our website. So throughout the slides or throughout the room, you might see some of those QR codes on the graphics, and that is just an opportunity to take you directly to that part of the website. Another available, and I'm just curious, how many of you had a support line? A few. Okay, that's good. A few hands are up. Great. Support line? That know about our support line. Oh, yeah. Hands, I like that. Okay. All right, for those of you that don't know, we have a partnership with Cancer Care to staff a support line just for bladder cancer patients. The support line is staffed by oncology social workers. And the social workers are able to navigate you through the different resources that we have available on our website, but also to resources in your community. So let's say you're trying to look for transportation in your community, or you have a need for, I don't know, even financial assistance. That's a line you want to call. Or you know somebody who may need that assistance. This is a phone number you want to remember. So everybody got a little journal when you walked in. So I want to ask everybody to open that journal, grab your pen, and write down that number so you have it handy. The other piece too, because a lot of them are oncology social workers, they're available to listen. So if you want to talk to somebody who is trained, they will be able to also lend that compassionate ear. And it's a free service. On our website, it tells you when it's the hours in which it operates. It's not, unfortunately, doesn't operate 24/7, but it is pretty available, and the social workers are bilingual, speak English and Spanish. All right, please make my colleague Mark happy. How many of you have downloaded the bladder cancer app? Raise your hand. That's good. All right, tomorrow I'm going to ask how many have downloaded the bladder cancer app. So hopefully, if you need assistance, he's right here. So we have our bladder cancer app. It's available for Apple and Android, and basically it's the information that we have on our website right there on your phone at a fingertip, an app dedicated to it. So free, and all the features that I'm going to talk about next are included on that app, as well as our website. Now, let me start this question differently. Who has not heard of our Bladder Cancer Matters podcast? Only one person. Okay, a few. Okay, well, I was like, where to begin with that one? Well, first, the Bladder Cancer Matters podcast. It's a podcast for patients by patients, and the host is one of our dear, long-standing patient advocate, Rick Bangs. So he's known as the voice of the Bladder Cancer Matters podcast. We have the episodes on our website, but you can also find them on Apple and Google, Spotify, all of those. And he covers all kinds of episodes. So if you're, in the car, want to listen to that, or while you're cooking, this is a great resource for you. And he invites all kinds of experts to be on his show. So that's the Bladder Cancer Matters podcast. What I want to say also, since we mentioned Spotify, when you walked into this room, you heard some music, and the music that was playing, that was selected, it was curated by a special group. And you heard Mary Margaret mention that we launched a council of patient advocates, and that group created that playlist that you are hearing. And we'll continue to play that playlist throughout the event. So we want to thank that group for their suggestions. And if you like to add songs to that playlist, you can do so. On the evaluation, there'll be a question there where you can type in the song, and we'll send out that playlist to everybody so you can have it. I listen to it while I work. So it's a great it's a memento, I guess, from the event. Later today, we have a very powerful session on clinical trials. And so I want to prepare you by sharing that on our website, we have a dedicated page on clinical trials, all for bladder cancer patients. Sure, you can go to the NIH website, but they have so many clinical trials there. This is specifically for bladder cancer patients, so we made it easy for you to identify those. That's a resource out there, and maybe my homework to you is after our session will be to visit this website, and we'll be around so you can come back with questions. There's also on our website a dedicated page for each state and the resources that exist in that state. So you're seeing here the California bladder cancer resources. So there's things such as the Department of Health for California, the VAs, what are they called? The NCI designated cancer centers. And soon we'll be building more resources into that. So I encourage you to go in there and browse and see what's there if you're looking for something specifically that relates to where you live. Very important. Again, there's so many resources on our webpage, and I'm highlighting the ones that I feel like is important for you to hear today. But I do want to encourage you to go and look more, if you, especially the ones that I'm pointing out. So the bladder cancer survivorship page that we have on the website was created by our survivorship task force. And many of those members are here. The task force is made up of patients and clinicians and caregivers. The co-chair, Mary Dunn, she will be facilitating the evening, the last session for today. But some of the volunteers for that task force who are here, can I ask you to raise your hand? I know I saw Mike. Mike was here. Oh, yeah. Monica. And there's a couple. All are invited to be part of that task force. And I'm sure Mary will extend the invitation, but I just wanted to point that out because that group was responsible for putting together this page on our website. And this page was designed because they're like, well, we need something more on like nutrition, something easy to navigate. So nutrition, mental health, physical activity, fatigue. There's lots of stuff that are covered here, and we're continuing to like build more education, more information to that page, but this is the one-stop shop that covers all things survivorship. And so, again, all this information is available on our website. You can download the app, and through the app you can access what's on the website. And the website, what is the website, Mark?
I'm so glad you asked. BCAN.org, Bravo, Charlie, Alpha, November.org.
We will quiz you at the end of the day. Okay. Thank you, Mark. Yes, BCAN.org. B as in boy, A as in apple, N as in Nancy. No, I've missed the A. Oh, gosh. Let me start over. B as in boy, C as in cat, A as in apple, N as in Nancy, .org. Yes, I did it. Okay, great. Thank you. I needed some support. All right. But in addition to those resources, your other resource is the BCAN team. And so I know Mary Margaret already introduced you to many of them. So I'm just going to show you who they are on the screen so you can put names and faces together, because many of us are here today. Some are not. But who are they? Obviously, our brand new CEO, Mary Margaret. We have Patrick Devey, who you're going to see running around with the mic for the Q&A session. He's our VP of Strategy and Operations, who is making sure all financials are set. He's not here today, but he says hello. Trini, who has been with BCAN, gosh, as long as Stephanie, I think, or maybe about the same. Not only she's the executive assistant to the CEO, but also does all the behind-the-scenes planning for this event and making sure that we have comfortable temperature in this room, enough coffee, and anything that makes this event successful. Part of our development team, also Christina, Jocelyn, and Edwin. Jocelyn and Edwin are in the walk table. You'll get to see them later this evening. Christina, who's been with, and Edwin, they've both been with BCAN about 2 weeks, or no, sorry, 6-7 weeks since August. And Christina is our new VP of development. Then we have, obviously, our marketing and communication, who are very active. Mark is keeping me on my toes. And then Alina, who is our resident photographer. Make sure you smile at the camera. And then the education advocacy team. So you'll get to see Kira, who is going to be running with the mics also during the Q&A session with Patrick. She's been with us a little bit over 3 months, helping support our advocacy work. And then we have Allison, who helps to ensure that all the providers in the community receive bladder cancer basics, among many other things. But it's one of the most important tools, because we know when a patient gets diagnosed, we want to make sure that they get the resources that they need. Obviously, you heard Bernadette's name being mentioned many times. She manages the Survivor and other volunteer opportunities, our chapters, and of course Stephanie, who is wears many hats and someone I go to internship for help all the time. All right, and of course our research team, who is led by Rebecca Johnson, and you'll get to see her tomorrow, who's facilitating one of the session. And you saw Anne outside on registration, and then Imani and Valerie sent their best back in Maryland. So one of the things that when I first joined BCAN that you're a co-founder always mentioned is that BCAN is a community of volunteers. I think BCAN was able to grow so much in the past 20 years because of individuals who gave their time. And that not only includes patients, but also includes the researchers, the clinicians. And so what I want to use is this opportunity to extend that invitation. If you're not already involved with BCAN, we welcome more willing and individuals who want to be able to donate their time, expertise, and some of the opportunities to be involved are actually on your table. We have some signs on those plastic holders that list several different volunteer opportunities for patients. But again, we would not be able to do this work without our extended network of volunteers. I want to thank you for helping us to continue to grow.